In a world rich with literary details, no event in Berserk exists in isolation. Every action has a consequence. These consequences act as recognizable and consistent through lines from the series' beginning to end. This is displayed throughout the manga, whether we see the consequences of small damages to armor episodes later, or Puck mentioning his homeland eventually leading to Casca's restoration. Which leads me to the topic of this video, the evolution of the demon child, specifically Guts and Casca's son, has continuous consequences throughout the entirety of Berserk, from the Black Swordsman arc to the latest update. This character's progression in the series is undoubtedly the most prominent example of interconnected consequences, and continues to evolve. In order to fully understand the scope of its effects, we must return to the very beginning. In Volume 9, Guts and Casca's relationship finishes its gradual transformation from bitter enemies to a couple who share a special trust and vulnerability. This is marked by the sexual consummation of their relationship. It's rare for a sex scene in media to fully and properly portray the emotional weight that physical intimacy can convey. Miura, however, fully shows its gravity. This sweet and much-deserved moment between Guts and Casca serves both the purpose of developing their characters and leads to Casca's pregnancy. Her pregnancy, though unknown to both Guts and Casca at the time, becomes profoundly vital to the storyline. It is 4 volumes later, during the Eclipse, where we see the cruelest scene of the story. As the rest of the Band of the Falcon are massacred by apostles, Casca is raped by Griffith, who has become the demonic entity Femto, while Guts is forced to watch. This is a key moment on all fronts. It not only mentally destroys the surviving main characters, but also leads to Femto's demonic corruption of Casca's pregnancy. The corrupted fetus is not only tragic in relation to the violence of the Eclipse, but also carries consequences for Guts, Casca, and Griffith down the line, and theoretically might end up being the key to Femto's downfall. After Skull Knight saves both Guts and Casca from being killed in the Eclipse, we witness a mentally regressed Casca giving premature birth. Much to Guts' horror, it is not a regular child, but a demon fetus corrupted by evil. Skull Knight advises to kill it before it brings doom over its parents, but Casca holds Guts back from doing so, acting on her motherly instincts and allowing her child to disappear with the sunlight. Chronologically, we next see the demon child haunt Guts throughout the Black Swordsman arc, as Guts pursues apostles after leaving Casca in the care of Godo, Rickert, and Erika. However, it is during the Conviction arc where we see the demon child serve a major plot function. The demon child appears several times throughout this arc, often intervening out of a desire to save his mother. One example would be when he warned Guts of the incoming incarnation ceremony, where Casca was almost executed by Mosgus and the refugees. The demon child plays an even more crucial role in the incarnation ceremony, which is an event that occurs once in a millennia that allows a God Hand member to gain a physical body. And who would that member be besides the Falcon of Light, or rather, the Falcon of Darkness, Griffith? A key player during this event is the Egg Apostle, who sacrificed himself and the world around him to fulfill his wish of creating a perfect world. While ascending the Tower of Conviction, the Egg Apostle comes across the fatally injured demon child and swallows it to preserve its life out of sympathy. This is an extremely important moment, as the consequence of this action is the child fusing into Griffith's vessel as he is incarnated through the egg. Ultimately, this fusion results in Griffith and the demon child sharing a physical form. The effects of this shared vessel are first seen during Volume 22, at the reunion of the Hill of Swords, where Griffith goes out of his way to meet Rickert, Guts, and Casca, the only remaining Falcons. As he confronts them, Griffith's intention is to test if there would be anything that could shake his heart in his new corporeal form. He then confirms that he is free of the emotional attachment he had to Guts, the only person who made him forget his dream in the past as an ordinary man. It's only a few moments later where Guts fights Zod in an epic battle, and Griffith reflects on his heart throbbing, something that should not happen. After Zod destroys Kouto's cave, a rock almost hits Casca, and much to our surprise, the one to save her ends up being Griffith himself. Casca herself is visibly shaken by this, but in her regressed state, she is not reacting to her complex emotions toward Griffith. She is reacting to her child. The mother-child connection is also presumably why she reaches toward him in this scene. Similarly, Griffith does not save her because he cares about her, something he disputed already, but because the second entity living inside his body, the demon child, forced him because of that connection. This is a continuation of all the countless times that the demon child acted to secure the safety of its mother, and this scene was no different. As Griffith leaves with Zod, he reflects on how those feelings he felt must have been of the child that serves as his physical vessel. 6 volumes later, Guts and the rest of the group are on their way to Vritannis, with the goal of getting a ship so they can travel to Elfhelm. The group decides to spend the night at the beach. Soon after, we are introduced to the Moonlight Boy, who mysteriously appears during the full moon and finds himself in the arms of Casca. Him and Casca share a special connection, and he seems to resemble Guts. Shirke comments that the boy has a mysterious odd. Just like the demon child, we see former habits on display again. Not only is he attached to Casca, the boy even tries to take off Guts' berserker armor, most likely because it senses the danger it creates for his father. As he tries to take it off, he stumbles and almost falls on the ground, and we see this panel. Looks like a nice family, doesn't it? At this point, the familial connection of the Moonlight Boy to Guts and Casca is clearly implied. Other characters, such as Farnese and Isidro, reflect on the image they give off as well. Adding to the association of the Moonlight Boy with Guts and Casca's child, Guts follows this up by wondering about the location of the demon child and what happened to him. Last time he saw him, he was swallowed by the Egg Apostle. By this point, Guts had not connected the dots of the child fusing into Griffith's vessel. Later, during the battle on the beach, we even see the Moonlight Boy saving his mother again by manipulating the Kushan monsters, continuing the behavior we've seen previously through the demon child. Later, he even tames his father, who lost control while fighting in the berserker armor, something that, so far, has only been accomplished by Shirke. An interesting detail of this appearance is that with the release of Volume 28, Miura added additional panels for the release of the volume. The panel illustrates Guts sensing something from the direction of the beach cliff. On this cliff, we see what seems to be a unique silhouette among the bushes. It appears to be that of Zod, Griffith's current right-hand man. Assuming that we might be seeing Zod's silhouette, why would he be there? Well, the answer is directly tied to the boy. The Moonlight Boy is evidently not some random kid, or even a fully human kid. He is actually the demon child, who changed in appearance and, like always, is there to seek out his parents. Perhaps his improved looks are due to some kind of purification from the incarnation process, which divided Femto's corruption from the child's astral form. This is evidenced by its separate appearances from Griffith, despite sharing a physical form. In any case, if Zod is nearby and staying hidden, it means that he is there to secure the safety of the boy, as any damage done to him may damage Griffith as well. The next time we see the Moonlight Boy is during the night, where Guts faces the sea god at the solitary island. After a severely wounded Guts kills the sea god from the inside and is about to drown, the boy gives him a helping hand in finding an escape. Additionally, when the Moonlight Boy saves Guts, the hair depicted in his ethereal form looks quite similar to someone else, doesn't it? The important thing to note here is that the boy appears during full moons and when his parents are in danger. As Shirke explains later, astral entities are more powerful on nights with a full moon. He is also shown traveling along the branches of the World Spiral Tree, giving him a means of independent transport and showing that he shares this ability with Griffith. But it was only quite recently, in episode 358, that we got an inarguable confirmation on the connection between Griffith and the Moonlight Boy. During the full moon, Griffith looks at a handful of his hair, which is starting to turn black. As this happens, Griffith mutters to himself, "Tonight, again then." Boom! It all connects. The demon child transforms into the Moonlight Boy while sharing a body with Griffith, takes over the body every full moon, and travels to his parents, especially when he senses they're in danger. Meanwhile, right now in Elfhelm, Casca has just woken up from her long nightmare, and she is only slowly remembering all of the events leading to the eclipse. First, it was Griffith's tortured body, then it was Judo's death. Unfortunately, the person who serves as a traumatic reminder to all of this is Guts. The same way Casca reminds Guts of the eclipse, the same way Guts does for her. For now, Casca can't encounter Guts, and she has yet to remember her assault by Femto, the main cause for her post-traumatic stress and mental regression. Yet, at the same time, the Moonlight Boy is on his way to Elfhelm. His presence will not only introduce a new factor into Guts and Casca's current dilemma, but it also means that Falconia might be without its leader for a period of time, since time on Elfhelm flows differently. The consequences of the Moonlight Boy and Griffith's shared corporeal body brings about many questions for the future of Berserk. What will Casca's goal be once she knows her child shares a body with her rapist? Killing Griffith means killing the boy as well. Can the boy be separated from Griffith, or will Guts be forced to kill the child to bring down his enemy? Ironically, Griffith's corruption and exploitation of the baby could be the key to his destruction. Guts and Casca's connection to the child serving as Griffith's vessel may create his soul vulnerability. The ultimate consequence of his assault of Casca spells out his demise.